Hi, Karen here from my Wellbeing Hypnotherapist and Wellness Coach. Welcome to your free video where you can start to free your mind and change your life today. I will start by going through my story of transformation, and then I'll show you some slides to start you on your journey of transformation. So grab a pen and paper to get those ready for in a short while. So I am passionate about supporting you on your journey of transformation, making positive changes in your life. Because if I can do it, I assure you, you can do it. So I was very stuck in my life. I was stuck in a very unhappy marriage with my ex-husband. I felt that I'd given all my power, my control to him, to just please him, keep things simple and sort of ticking along happily in our marriage. I was at the time working as a social worker in stroke rehab and mental health, and I was trying to save the world as a social worker. I was giving my all to everything and everybody and not putting my needs first. And I gradually became physically unwell, starting in my gut, and all the stress of doing all this, being in that sort of negative environment at home, it all took a toll on my health, and I ended up with chronic fatigue for 11 years. I felt very, very stuck in the marriage for many reasons, especially because of feeling safe, really. Because even though I was very unhappy and it felt wrong, I felt safe, in that place, which often happens. But luckily, I got to the point where I hit rock bottom, and I know that sounds a bit weird, but I did hit rock bottom one night, and I went into the spare room. I was in agony with the pain of the chronic fatigue, and I just threw myself on the floor in desperation and just asked for whatever is out there to help me, for my life to end, to stop all this. And now I look back on it, because after seeing the film Eat, Pray, Love, that's what Julia Roberts does. I suppose we've got similar hair. But I was in a very, very desperate state that night. But it was absolutely amazing, because I did find help. I had the strength within me. I found that deep within me, and help came in the form of a hypnotherapist and wellness coach who started working in the nearby village. So she really, really helped me on my journey of transformation. And amazingly, she had the same surname, and she's Kim and I'm Karen. So I felt that life sent me another Bromley to help me and change my life dramatically. And she really, really started me on my journey, and I'm forever grateful to her for that. So it got to the stage where I kept thinking, right, I'm going to leave when I'm well enough. I'm going to leave when I'm well enough. And you know what? The light bulb had to go off, that actually I had to leave to get better, to get fully well. So that's what I did. The day before I left, I was medically retired from my social work career. So it was literally in those 2 days. So I left the very next day, moved a few hours away to a different county in England, and started my new life. And how it felt was like standing on the top of a cliff, looking down into the pit of, not knowing what it was, but just feeling terrified by all that fear of the unknown, the what ifs. And I felt like I was blindfolded because I couldn't see what was ahead of me, that my hands were tied behind my back because I didn't feel in control. I couldn't do anything. I didn't know what was there. But thank goodness I just leapt through that fear into the unknown and left. And it's just been incredible since starting my new life in the new county. I started to meet really supportive, inspiring people. Opportunities came my way that I could never believe. Interesting challenges that's taught me so much. I no longer believe in mistakes or failure. It's all learning, and I'm just such a different person now because I've learned about my personality, and that a lot of the pain, physical and emotional pain, was yes, caused by a virus, I believe, in the beginning, but also from holding on to emotional losses, and I had 2 miscarriages, you know, all sorts of knocks in life and negative beliefs and fears that I managed to subconsciously keep inside me. And as soon as I started letting go of all those things, everything just started to change for me. And it's incredible, I know, to think of that when you're letting go of that stuff out of your mind and body, that the pain can go. But that's what happened for me. It's just been incredible. So here I am living my happy, healthy, abundant life, and I'm so passionate about wanting to support you at whatever stage you are in your life, however stuck you may feel for whatever reason. Because people started asking me, you know, how did you do it? How did you do it? Outside of seeing my clients one-to-one. So I decided to create a 6-step, what I called the Maya method, so that I can help people, you know, online with my downloadable program. So I want to be able to share lots of things with you today with my slides. So grab your pen and paper so we can get you started on making some positive changes. And then at the end, I will do a bonus visualization for you. So stay to the end to enjoy that. That's relaxing and helping you get your sort of mindset ready for more change. Okay, so I'll just bring up my first slide for you. So writing down a score for each of the areas of your life that I have here. So it's 0 to 10. So 10 would be if you're very fulfilled in that area of your life, and 0 is obviously the lowest. So just go with the first number that comes in your head. And this is great to do now so that later on you can look back and rescore yourself and think, wow, look how far I've come. Or you can still see where you want to focus. This isn't obviously to make you feel depressed about what's going on in your life. This is to help you to focus on the areas of your life that need attention, because we are a whole as human beings. We need different areas of our life to feel fulfilled and to be at a good level so that we can feel rounded and live a great life. So the first one is to look at happiness. What's the first score out of 10 that comes to mind? Write that down. Health. Your energy levels, I know they can vary. So you might have, you know, a sort of sliding scale depending on what's going on. But where are you at the moment generally? Your spiritual needs. That might be how fulfilled you feel from religious or spiritual needs. I'm very, very spiritual, not religious, but very spiritual. I have my own spiritual beliefs and routines through yoga and meditation, etc. So score that one. Your relationships, whether it's a marriage, partner, or if you're on your own, how fulfilled you feel on your own. Friendships, score that one. There might be different groups of friendships, there might be different scores on that. Your family life, whether that's children, parents, aunties, uncles, or if you don't have family, how fulfilled you feel. And work, it might be part-time, full-time. You might be studying, voluntary work, anything like that that's in that kind of work bracket. Score that one for you. And then hobbies. How much time do you give to yourself to have time for you, whether it is just having a bath without the children and coming knocking on the door, or whether it is that you have separate hobbies that you can do at home or elsewhere, or whether it's you go to do a class, fitness class, gym, etc. Things that you enjoy doing for you. And then confidence. I know confidence can be different in different areas of your life. So score, maybe you might have work confidence, social, relationship confidence. There might be other ones. So you can score those separately. Self-esteem. So how worthy you feel of good things happening to yourself. Putting that out of 10. Feeling in control of your life. Whether life feels overwhelming or you feel in control and it feels good, where would you score that one? Fulfilling your dreams, ambitions. Maybe you have, or maybe you haven't looked and thought about your dreams or ambitions for years, or maybe never had them. Score that one. And here's the biggie, how much do you love yourself? Score that one out of 10. You might just like yourself, you know, it's a sliding scale. You might not like yourself. That's all okay, but just scoring that down just to see where you are at this time. Because many of us, we're so busy, we don't actually stop and reflect on our lives and what we need. It's so important because all of this leads to feeling stuck. Okay, so now I wanted to support you to look at any blocks or challenges that you may have in your life. You may not be willing to invest your time, energy, or money into transforming your life. I remember at the time when I went to see the hypnotherapist and wellness coach, Kim. It was my last money. It was really worrying to use that, but thank goodness I did, because I dread to think I'd still be in bed in agony with the ME, with all the horrible symptoms and being so unhappy and so lost and stuck. So it's a good question to sort of ask yourself, because often we put money and time and energy into our homes, you know, maintaining our homes, our cars, different things in our life, our families, friends, whatever it is. But what about us? We deserve that, putting that investment, that time into ourselves. Resisting change. Yes, this is natural. If you feel resistance to change, it's kind of like just going, okay, yeah, I see you there, I know you're there, I hear you, but you know what? I'm not going to listen to that anymore. Because I believe we almost have like a gremlin one side of us, and then the angel, I call it, the other side, the two voices that we have. So I started to choose to listen to my angel side, and then the gremlin started to shrivel and shrink down because I wasn't giving the negative voice my attention anymore. Some people assume that their problems are unique when actually they're not. Lots of people I see and meet, you know, we've all got very similar problems, issues, you know, from feeling stuck in our life, feeling overwhelmed. Fearing the future, fearing the unknown. As you've just heard, mine was massive. I was terrified of it. But leaping through the fear, woohoo! How marvelous it feels, because now I'm outside of my comfort zone, outside of that safety, and living the best life. It's just incredible. That's where the magic happens, outside your comfort zone. Dwelling on past mistakes. When you dwell on past mistakes, it can just pull you down. You're living, looking into the past, always looking back. And that's where depression happens. You're just living in that past. Maybe it's regretting things, blaming others, blaming yourself. feeling guilt or shame or any of those kind of emotions, looking backwards all the time. It just drags us back, keeps us there. And not believing in yourself. Yeah, that's all part of it. I didn't believe in myself. You know, I was so low on self-esteem and everything that, you know, it's part of the journey that just naturally you start to grow that belief in yourself. And believe that you're a failure rather than something you did, failed or didn't work out. And, you know, it's really important that we're not viewing yourself as a failure, but saying, well, okay, that thing didn't work out, but what am I going to learn from that now? How am I going to do that differently? Rather than just giving up, saying that's failed, that's it, I'm a failure, stop. It's all learning. It's amazing. I now welcome challenges and problems, issues, because they help me to learn, to grow as a person. It's fantastic, and it's really releasing and liberating when you get to that point. You know, it's just incredible just to say, oh, okay, let's sit down, let's have a look at that, do things differently. And people give up as it looks, you know, too difficult. I remember, you know, with all the agony I was in, with all the chronic fatigue symptoms, it was just, that was overwhelming. And then trying to do everything else, you know, trying to change and look at my beliefs and my negative patterns, it's, you know, it's a lot of effort. And I felt like giving up so many times. I just kept going and kept coming back to it. Thank goodness I did. So more blocks and challenges. So see, you know, write down any of these that resonate with you, and then saying to them, I don't want that anymore, I'm not going to listen to that. But just recognize, have that awareness that that's there. Okay, that's there, fair enough, but I'm not going to believe it, listen to that anymore. So you don't want to or don't feel able to forgive others or yourself, because forgiveness is such an important part of moving forward, because the energy of unforgiveness is very damaging. It holds you back. The person that you're not forgiving often isn't affected at all by you not forgiving them, but it affects us. It's like holding onto a negative ball of energy inside us, weighing us down, almost sort of like poisoning ourselves with that unforgiveness. They're carrying on with their life quite happily. And so it's not saying to that person what you did is okay or acceptable, but what you're saying is, you know what, I've come to the point where it's been holding me back all this time, but I'm moving forward now. I'm not going to let this affect me anymore. And that is so powerful. I had to forgive myself as well, beating myself up over things in my past that I wish I'd done differently, or hadn't, you know, wish I hadn't done at all, or wish I'd done things, driving myself mad with all that. So I had to forgive others and myself. Your negative beliefs can seem too strong. Mine were, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of good things happening to me. I'm not worthy of, you know, being happy in relationships. I have to work really hard until I'm exhausted before I can take a rest. Gosh, so many negative beliefs that I believed. And we pick them up over our life and store them in our subconscious mind, because our subconscious makes up 95 to 98% of our mind. So it's huge. You know, it's our program. And it's all kept in there, stored away. And that's why I did the hypnotherapy, because I had to work with the subconscious mind. After working for years as a social worker with the conscious mind, I just knew, you know, it's so much quicker, much more powerful to go straight to the subconscious, to change those beliefs, have new beliefs, new positive beliefs, new patterns that you're living from. Don't feel that you deserve success or happiness. Yeah, I was totally in that place. You believe that you cannot visualize your abundant future. That was difficult because I was laying in bed in agony with varying physical symptoms going on that were overwhelming. But that was one of the things that got me out of bed, to lay there instead of thinking, I wish I was dead, I can't do this anymore, the pain's overwhelming, why me, poor me. For me to lay there and imagine myself doing all the wonderful things that I am now doing, which, oh my God, it's so special when I do them. You know, I feel so emotional because I was visualizing all those things, and now I'm doing them, I'm living them. It's incredible. Gosh, it makes me feel emotional now. You feel things will get worse, or that you will lose something. Actually, when you feel stuck and you are there, if you are staying there, that's when you're losing something. Anything that you do to move forward is gaining something. It's a very powerful way of looking at things differently. And like me, your unhappy life may feel safe. Yes, I felt safe. You know, I was stuck there, but it felt safe. I knew what was going on. You have given away too much of your personal power. You feel powerless to change. And that's what I described earlier. You know, I was giving my power, my energy to everybody, trying to save everyone at work and outside of work, until I had nothing more to give. And my mind and body said, you know what, we're going to completely shut you down now until you change. And it took me a long time to listen to my body and my mind. But eventually, after 11 years, I did. And I always listen to my body all the time, every day now. And yeah, feel too stuck in your life. I did feel so stuck that, you know, hearing all the doctors, specialists saying there's nothing we can do, this is it for life. That was awful to hear that. But I'm living proof you can move forward. The power of your mind is incredible. And, you know, I went to see a lot of alternative therapists and understood the virus, Epstein-Barr virus that I had, and what to eat and supplements to take, and all the natural ways to support my body on every level, getting all the issues out of my tissues, as I said, you know, with the therapies and the wellness coaching. Combination of all that has been a massive part of my transformation. And I'm going to ask you a very powerful question. I was asked this at the time when I was really ill. And just sit with this question for a moment and just ask yourself for an honest answer. And the question is, what is the positive gain of staying stuck where you are? What is the positive gain of staying stuck where you are? Now, I remember being asked that, and I was like, well, there's nothing positive about being in agony with these awful symptoms for years, feeling so low that I want my life to end. But you know what? That question was a massive turning point for me, because I realized that it was safe where I was. If I stayed where I was, hiding in bed, I didn't have to go out with my husband. I didn't have to face the stress of work, of doing extra work on top of what I was already doing that was feeling overwhelming. I didn't have to do things. I could avoid my problems, you know, hide away from my marriage. So I had this amazing realization that actually this was keeping me safe, even though it was just awful, the worst times of my life. And that was a real turning point for me. So I hope that is for you too, to just think, what is that positive gain for me staying stuck in my life? Because once you have that awareness and you can just say to yourself, I don't want this anymore. No way. It's just incredible. It'll blow your mind and shatter things. Things won't be the same again. You know, can jump forward. So if you need to write that down, reflect on that, and just notice the resistance and the fighting and, you know, what your mind is saying about that. Yeah, that's going to happen. But just sit with that. Reflect on that later on. So these are the 6 steps of the Mayer method that I created, which I've been talking about through the slides. So the first step is taking responsibility, like with that big question I've just asked, and saying to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to blame anybody else anymore. It's down to me. Even if, like I was, the doctors were saying there's nothing you can do. I took responsibility for my health and my mindset, my beliefs. And start to take an awareness of the roles we take on. We subconsciously take on roles. There's lots of them that I've seen within myself and with people I work with. But there's the victim role. Cool, I was very good at that. Really good at the victim role. Poor me, why me? Feeling really sorry for myself. Telling people about how awful it all was. But that was very disempowering for me to sit in that victim role. And the opposite of that is the bully role, to varying degrees. The timid role I was when I was younger. I was very, very shy. That was a role that I took on, that I hid behind. That was a mask that I used to wear, hid behind that. And the controller role, I was definitely doing a lot of controlling. I was controlling things externally to me because I didn't feel in control in my life. So just, reflect on that. Is there any area of your life that you're trying to control because other areas of your life feel out of control? And it's wonderful when you peel your hands off it and stop controlling other people, situations, things at work, whatever. And judge is another big one. I used to judge myself, criticize myself, beat myself up, berate myself. Oh dear, exhausting, all of that. But do you judge yourself or others? Because when you do, it's good to look at what it is that you're judging, criticizing, because it's often about ourselves. But actually it's reflecting, how we are in ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. So again, you can reflect on all that, have a look at that later. Forgiving and releasing, I've talked about already, and releasing those issues in your tissues, whether it's anger, guilt, shame, blame, loss, bereavement, all those different things that we take on board subconsciously often. But it's like trauma. The way I work with people is after a car accident, or like I had 2 miscarriages, my body held on to the physical trauma and the emotional trauma. And that is so unhealthy. So have a look at that. Transforming your self-limiting beliefs. Write down any beliefs that are negative. Again, you can reflect on that later on. I'm not good enough. I'm useless. I'm stupid. Oh, there's loads of them. I'm not worthy of good things happening to me. Have a look at those. What those self-limiting beliefs are. And then the next step, building your self-esteem. Building how you feel about yourself, building the worthiness, how worthy you feel of good things happening to you. And because you've changed your self-limiting beliefs, self-esteem just automatically starts to grow. And you're taking your personal power back from situations, organizations, work, people. You start to regain that power in you, because I imagine ourselves as being like a battery. We need to be on full power to give to others, to be everything that we're meant to be, to live the happy, confident, abundant life that we deserve. And the next step, how to thrive and manifest your desired life. And that's where the law of attraction comes in for me. I saw it, I don't know if you read the book, The Secrets, or the film, you know, when it first came out and I was really ill, I was so excited about it and I was using it, but it just wasn't working. And then it dawned on me, because I was still believing those self-limiting, awful, negative beliefs about myself and my world, it was just cutting it down. It's not going to work. So once I started changing my beliefs, you know, that were in my subconscious mind, then yay, the law of attraction was working, all the different steps. And it's just amazing now. And you have to be careful what you wish for, because once you get to that stage, you know, things just happen. It's just incredible, because it's the basics of quantum physics. What you put out, you get back. One of my favorite sayings is, if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. And it's true. And then the last step of the Maya method is create your powerful, positive daily routine, that I still do now, that I've added more to. You know, I get up earlier because it's just such a powerful thing for me each morning to create my powerful, positive routine, starting off with a meditation, as I call it, as a meditation in bed. Because I used to wake up in agony and looking at the clock and thinking, oh my God, and I've hardly had any sleep. I feel worse than I went to bed, and I was scanning my body for where's the pain today, and awful way of starting. But now I start my life being so grateful about everything in my life, thinking about the day and imagining everything working really well, get myself in such an amazing positive mindset, have a little stretch. And then I'm taking things in my body that's really helpful, aloe vera to heal my gut, and celery, pure organic celery juice to boost my hydrochloric acid. And, you know, there's things that I put, smoothies, all my food, preparing food, everything, you know, it's all part of your self-care. I do yoga class twice a week, I do Pilates, I go to meditation with other people, do Tai Chi now. And it all started with a few minutes of stretching when I had chronic fatigue. So it's amazing when I go and do a class or a whole day workshop. It's just mind-blowing, because I can do it and I just love it, and I feel so well and full of energy and vitality and positivity for life. But it all started with just a few minutes of stretching when I was that ill. It's incredible to look back on. And now I feel that my role is, I'm in you know, a warrior role in that strength. And that it's now my purpose and my passion to support you, to support as many people as possible, to believe that you can change your life. It's incredible, and I feel so privileged to be in this position to help you, to help as many people as possible. So I'm going to do the visualization in a moment. If you're watching this video from my website, you will notice below that there is the click through for the Maya method to buy my instantly downloadable online program, going through all the steps. And each of the 6 steps has one video. I've kept them so they're not too long, because I know you're all busy people. So you watch a video once and then there's a hypnosis recording there. So then you listen to it with headphones on every day to make that difference for you. And even if you're exhausted at the end of the day, you can just pop that recording on and sleep through it, because the beauty of it is the subconscious mind never sleeps. So there's no excuse not to listen to it every day, because this is the stuff, the powerful changes that will happen in your subconscious mind just by relaxing with your eyes closed and sleeping through it if necessary. How good is that? It's easy. So that is all there on my website. If you're watching this through Facebook or YouTube, then go to my website, mayawellbeing.co.uk, and go to the hypnotherapy drop down under the therapies, and you'll see there the free video, and then the Maya method. It's all there. It's on my shop, so there's different ways to access it. So mayawellbeing.co.uk. Great. So get yourself comfortable now. I'll take you on a visualization. So obviously don't do this if you are driving or operating machinery. Got to keep yourself safe. Save this for later on if necessary. So just take some breaths in now, some deep breaths, bringing yourself into the moment. Just feeling your body sinking down into whatever you're sitting or laying on. Knowing that this time is just for you to switch off, to start to make some changes in your life because you are worth it. Just imagine a ball of energy sitting on top of your head now. This ball of energy may have a colour, a feeling or a word, or just a knowing that it's there. And imagine that ball of energy wrapping around your face and your neck. That lovely energy moving around your shoulders, releasing any tension there. The energy going all the way down your arms to your fingertips. Letting go of your arms, let them rest. The energy wrapping around the top of your chest, your abdomen, round your back, down and around your hips and thighs. Going all the way down your legs, over your knees to the tips of your toes. And just imagine you're floating down now. As I count from 10 to 1. And on each number you relax down deeper and deeper. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, floating down now, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Floating down onto the path of your life where you are right now. And the language of the subconscious mind is using all your senses. It talks in a way of imagination. So just look behind you now to your past path, the life you've had up to this moment now, and just see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel, maybe what you smell and taste as well, or just know we're all different. We have different ways of experiencing things. So notice your path. What's the path like? Is it even or uneven? What's the colour? What's it made of? What's around your path? And turn back round now. And in front of you, you can now make a choice of whether to continue on this path exactly as you have been. Or there is a new path, a new fork there, where you now have the choice to make positive changes, to really live the life you're meant to be living. So just take a step onto that path and notice the differences here as you look forward. What's this path made out of? What's the colour, the texture? What's around you? What's the scenery? Where are you? Look as far ahead as possible, as if you're looking into a symbolic representation of your future on this path. What do you see, hear, feel, or just know? How is it being there? Really experiencing everything with as many senses as you can. How does it feel being there, taking that step forward, making changes, knowing you have an amazing journey ahead of you? Yes, the journey has some ups and downs, but it's very different from that past path that you've just looked back on. This is your time now to make the changes that you want for yourself. Once you put your needs first, you can look after everybody else because you're in such a strong, wonderful, positive place. You deserve to have the best life you can, to be the healthiest, the most confident, the happiest, to feel in control of your life, to let go of everything that's been holding you back, to move forward through any fears into the amazing place outside of your comfort zone on the other side. You deserve to do the things you want to do, to reach your goals, your dreams. You don't want to be old looking back and regretting things on your life. You have a chance now, you have time to make those positive changes, to believe in yourself, to have good self-esteem, to feel good about yourself and your life, to make as many changes, however small, however big, in your life. This is your time now to let go, to move forward, making those changes. I believe in you. As I said before, if I can do it, you can do it. So it's your choice now whether you continue on this new, amazing path to your future, or whether you want to go back to your old path. Keep doing what you're doing, keep getting what you're getting. The choice is yours. So for now, just coming back as I count from 1 to 5, and when I say 5, you open your eyes, coming back to the room, feeling relaxed and refreshed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, coming back to the room. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, you can go to mayawellbeing.co.uk, go to the contact me, drop me a line. I love to hear from people. Have a look at my shop, have a look at the Maya Method. You can follow me on Facebook, Maya Wellbeing, where I do Facebook Lives, top tips, all sorts of different things for health and well-being. I love to hear from people. So I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the most amazing life and well-being. Lots of love. Bye.